All right, what's going on, buddy? How we doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Another good Tuesday. These are the late nights, but the good days with the coaching calls. So I'm excited for them. What
I
about you?
love it. I love it. I'm good, man. Today was productive day. One of those days like just cleaning up the books, reviewing numbers, all like the not sexy stuff that like really is really important. Like, and I honestly don't like doing it, but when you develop that habit of just reviewing your numbers on a consistent basis, like we review them on the team call every week, but I like to do a deeper dive once a month, see if we missed anything. Like I caught today, like somebody we didn't collect payment from them and they stayed with us. I'm like, guys, come on, like this is basic stuff that we have processes in place for. So it's just kind of like doing that QC and like deep dive financial review at least once a month, and it just gives you a really clear picture of where your business is at, where you're going, and it just helps you, especially as you scale. Like I'm not involved in the daily stuff, so by understanding the numbers, I can see the trends and pick up on certain things that the team may miss because they're in the weeds every day.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's super important to be even when you own a business. And yes, we talk about this being passive income, but to know like each part of the business well. You don't have to be like an expert at it, but like for me, I'm learning this accounting stuff, and you and I talk about it kind of weekly. It's like it's not something I want to learn, but I have to learn it and get good at it so that I can teach someone else to do it. So,
yep, 100%, 100%. So we got a good one today. We got some people coming on live, and I think this one will be very interesting because I know you and I get this question all the time, like where should I invest? Like where's a good market for short-term rentals? And the reality is it works basically everywhere. But today we're going to share 10 markets that we've seen work really well with students that we're actively working with right now. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them you probably almost definitely have not heard of, that are performing really well. And so again, it's just to give you guys a range of different areas that you may not even think about, but who knows? Maybe these are some markets that you actually want to target. So I know Mike put together a nice checklist of all of these. Again, you can get access to all the goodness that we've been putting together over the last 2 months or so. And as we do these videos twice a week going forward, we'll continue to add resources to this new free program that we have. And you can just text resources to 978-242-0001. And we'll get you set up with that. You'll have your own login, you'll have your own portal, and we've got a bunch of different modules in there that we're adding new stuff in every single week. It's totally free, just as a value add for you guys to try and help organize all this information that we're putting out there every single week. So make sure you guys check that out. I'll throw the number here in the chat. And then Mike, you want to just start running through our list here? What's market number one? And these are in no particular order, by the way, just to clarify. These are just some different markets that we've seen do really well.
yep. Market number one, I'll start with Raleigh, North Carolina. So Raleigh just passed a new law. Well, actually, the whole state of North Carolina has pretty much passed this new law that short-term rentals are legal again. So Raleigh, North Carolina does have a permit process, but it's one of the fastest growing cities in the entire U.S. It's actually one of my hometowns as well. I just got an Airbnb there. It's doing extremely well, and I know a lot of other people are as well. And Raleigh is growing for a few different reasons. One, yes, we've got the universities. So we've got UNC, NC State, Duke, a lot of different medical universities that are around there too. So people are traveling for university travel or to visit friends. Also, there's a lot of great hospitals in Raleigh. But lastly, the tech scene in the biomed scene in Raleigh, we get a ton of people from California, from Europe when the borders are open. So there's just a lot of hospitality, a lot of travel from workers, medical travelers. I go up there for fun, to see events, see concerts and things like that. And the fact that Raleigh has now said, hey, Airbnbs are legal. Basically, you just need to have a permit and tell us that you're doing it. And it can be in a residential area, it can be in a condo, it can be in a townhome. And you just need to follow, I think there's like 5 or 6 rules, and then the permit process is online. The returns there, not only on the cash flow, but on the appreciation, since so many people are moving to Raleigh and the surrounding area, it's just made it a very good investment for folks. And it's, not a Gatlinburg or a, Orange Beach or a Myrtle Beach kind of place. It's a place that will appreciate, and it'll probably work both ways. It'll work as a long-term rental and a short-term rental. So that is number one. Number two, I'll let you take, but that's Cleveland, Ohio. We know it very, very well.
Whoop, left myself on mute there for a second. Yeah, this is one of those markets that we have a bunch of students operating around and in Cleveland. So yes, being inside of Cleveland is amazing, but we also have students like 30 to 45 minutes outside of Cleveland that are doing very, very well. Like if you guys have listened to the podcast with Bernie, I don't know, that's probably 6 months ago. He's on pace to hit 33 units now, just on the outskirts of Cleveland. And he's absolutely crushing it. Like he quit his corporate job, like he's doing this full time. And so anywhere around Cleveland, again, Cleveland, centrally located in the country, obviously on the northern end, but it's, fairly centrally located, a lot going on, big city. But even on the suburbs, like it's a great spot. I will in a minute. I'm recording something. Could we finish after, bud? You want to say hi to everybody real quick and then I'll come up? All right, I gotta go.
Hey, Caden.
See you in a few, okay? So yeah, it's just one of those like urban hubs that has a lot going on. But again, even on the outskirts, like if you think about a lot of the markets that people go after, like Miami or LA or a lot of like those big metro markets, you look at a place like Cleveland, it doesn't get the same kind of attention, but it does very, very well from a short-term rental standpoint. And there are a lot of areas in the city that it's perfectly legal to do it, where in some other parts of the country, it's more of a stretch, right? And we've just seen a bunch of students do really well around Cleveland. So that is number 2 on the list.
Yep. Number 3, I'm going to stick to North Carolina for right now, is Maggie Valley, North Carolina. Not a lot of people know Maggie Valley. Maggie Valley is in the mountains. It's about 30 minutes west of Asheville, right off of I-40. And it is like 15 minutes from a ski resort. It's beautiful, like rolling hills. There's a lot of mountain views. It's not overly developed, so there's still a lot of good properties that have great views. That is close to the ski resort. It's 30 minutes to Asheville. It's actually 45 minutes to Cherokee, which has the casino there. So there's a lot to do in Maggie Valley, and also the purchase price of the homes are significantly lower than if you want to invest in Asheville. We see a lot of students that are analyzing deals and putting offers on homes in Maggie Valley, since there is the skiing and there also is like kind of the mountainy hiking and lakes and things like that are in the Maggie Valley area. And then also it's very close to I-40, which is one of the biggest highways. I think it is the biggest highway in the country. So it's very major, centrally type of located location. So that's Maggie Valley. Number 4 is similar, Blairsville, Georgia. So this is another area that a lot of students in the mastermind and the accelerator program that are investing into, and we're seeing some 30, 40, 50% cash on cash returns for their investment. Blairsville is about, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Atlanta. So it's very close to Atlanta for a quick weekend trip. Same thing, it's got the mountainy, outdoorsy feel. There's good hunting up there. There's good hiking. It's kind of just a retreat type of area. And those, the house prices aren't very high there either. You can get a good 3-bedroom, 2-bath that'll serve 8 people for, $350,000. And that'll revenue you probably about $90,000 a year gross. So you put 40% margins on that, it's 50% margins like some of our students are making, and it's a very good return on a not so expensive investment. And then number 5, I'll let you take, Mike, is the Poconos up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, this is one of those markets that's starting to get more attention, but we've had a lot of mastermind students get in there over the last year and do extremely well. The price points are still very reasonable. It's a very cool market. It's very similar to where we have some units up in the mountains in New Hampshire, where it's still somewhat of a year-round type of vacation-y spot, because you have all the hiking and lakes and different things like that, like in the summer, but then in the winter, there's different skiing and different options like that. So it does very, very well, but the price points there are solid. You know, you can get some really nice properties, you know, between like 3 to 500,000. Whereas, you know, you go to the Smokies and you're looking at doubling that, you know, at least. So
yeah,
I do think the Poconos is going to be one of those markets that heats up over the next 12 months. So if you're actively looking for deals in that area, I would get on it. Because again, we've had a bunch of students have some great success in the Poconos.
Yeah, for sure. And we keep hearing a lot of chatter, a lot of, I wouldn't say concern from you know, people on Facebook or people in the mastermind that are saying, oh, there's these big, you know, funds that are coming in and creating these STR communities like in and around the Orlando area. These are markets that these big companies and these big funds will not come into. Raleigh maybe, but not for short-term rentals. So these markets are very, like you said, price point efficient for the type of buyers that we have, and you know, you guys that are watching. So number 6 is Joshua Tree, California. This is an interesting one. This is one I didn't know as well, but it is top 3 Airbnb cities in all of California. Joshua Tree, I don't know how far, it's probably 3 or 4 hours from LA. But there's a lot of good hiking, just kind of outdoorsy type of town, and the price points aren't too crazy out there either. You can get a nice 3-bed, 2-bath for 400,000 or 500,000 if you're in the right area. It is an area that is growing like crazy, so you might have to take a look at it now. But Joshua Tree, for you folks out west, and in Nevada and California, Arizona, that's a good area to invest in as well.
I think the key for Joshua Tree too is to create something unique. So unique types of properties do really well there. I have some friends, you know, Rebecca Slivka and Erica Beers. They've got a couple hotels there now that are very like eccentric and just like really funky and cool, that do exceptionally well. They've been featured in a bunch of different publications. So like, it's just it's like a desert. It's just like a really cool atmosphere there. So like you could do some really funky, unique stuff to get your property to stand out. Right. And it's just a place that people go to like get away, get off the map for a little bit. And it's just one of those trendy types of vacation spots that you could have some serious upside potential if you do it right.
Yeah. Number 7 is Broken Bow, Oklahoma. I don't have a ton of data to back this one up, aside from the fact that there's 4 people in the mastermind that are looking or building in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. I know there's a lake right there. And this is kind of one of those secret markets that people are getting really good deals, and there's comps in the area that are doing extremely well. And the deals that we're analyzing there are very, very good. 30-40% cash on cash return on some of those properties there. So it's a good investment.
Is this the one that we helped Jay increase his revenue by like 30K?
So I think he was in East Texas somewhere,
okay,
but he's building one in Broken Bow.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's an area that I know is very hot, especially on AirDNA. The investability rating on that is pretty high. So.
Nice. Again, we're trying to come up with giving you guys different markets that you probably have never heard of or not in the headlines to help you try and stand out. So what do we got next, Mike?
Mm-hmm. Number 8, this one came up kind of randomly. Waco, Texas. So the home of Chip and Joanna Gaines. They have at least 8 properties that at least 8 properties that they've renovated and are now on Airbnb. If you go on there, it is one of the only markets that I've seen that has 100 out of 100 grade from AirDNA, which is, I haven't seen that except for Waco. So I don't know what much is there, but I do know Chip and Joanna Gaines are, and there's plenty of opportunity according to AirDNA.
Yeah, I've heard through the grapevine from a few different people that that's one of those markets that just has exploded just because they have such a massive following that people just want to go there and visit, which is ironic because before they came on the scene, it was kind of a dumpy town from what I hear. And again, I'm not talking smack. I've never been there, but that's just what I heard. And now it's like an attraction because they have just built this massive following, right? So people just want to go there, see Magnolia Farm, and like do all of these cool things that are there. So again, if you're in the Texas market, check out Waco.
Yep. That's all I got. I got 8. You got 2 more?
Oh man, I thought we had 10 on the list.
I'll put you on the spot.
Let's see. I've been a big fan of the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Like the price points have gone up substantially, but you can still get a really solid like 3.2 or 4.3 for like 350 to 450,000. That'll pump out 80 to 100,000 a year up there. You know, and I'm talking like the North Conway area. We do very, very well up there. I love it up there. It's between 4 major ski resorts. You've got a bunch of lakes, hiking, mountain biking, Storyland, which is like a Disney World for New Hampshire. Like we've done very, very well with that market. And there's also, you know, some really high-end stuff. And the other thing, you know, if we haven't talked about this before, like the Burger King effect, right? So McDonald's does all the market research to figure out where to put up a McDonald's. Burger King just slaps one across the street. There's a bunch of brand new hotels going in up there, which is a sign that it's a hot market. All the hotels have invested in the market research, and they're pumping up hotels up there. So I really like it. We're specifically in Bartlett, which is the town next to North Conway, because again, you get a better bang for your buck than being right downtown, and the taxes are about a third. That's definitely a market that we really like.
Wasn't there one right outside New York City you were talking about, where you were doing some research?
Yeah. One of the mastermind students was looking around. Hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing this because I was helping him do some research, but around the Hudson Valley area, looked like there were some pockets in there that did very well because again, New York has a lot of really strict regulations. And so I'm trying to think, you know, going 30, 45 minutes to an hour outside the city, what are some areas? And there were a couple towns outside in the Hudson Valley area that looked very profitable. You know, price points were good, revenue was good, some good cash on cash returns in that market.
Yeah, that's kind of a theme, is going 30, 45 minutes outside of a major city. It's kind of a theme for everyone in the mastermind that's doing well, and that's where pretty much all of my properties are. They're either in vacation markets or outside of a city somewhere, except Raleigh. I mean, Raleigh's, you can get a good property inside Raleigh, inside the city limits. You know, a $400,000 property that does 80, 90 grand a month or a year. So there's some.
If I'm one that does 90K a month, you better tell me.
Yeah, I know. I don't think that would be in Raleigh, but maybe in Miami. How's your search going down in Tampa?
It's good. Shane keeps sending me some stuff. We're starting to look a lot at Kissimmee. There's some newer resorts down there that are incredible. I found a property last night, actually. It's not cheap, but it's a 9 or a 10 bedroom house, big house, amazing resort right on the second hole of the golf course, which I really like.
Nice.
And, you know, water park, everything, 12 minutes to Disney. But then I found another one, you know, near the beach on the East Coast of Florida. So just north of West Palm, I think, something like that. And I don't know, I'm going back and forth, following the process though, right? Like I'm still lining up, shopping different lenders, seeing which one's going to be the best bang for the buck, you know, doing my market research, trying to figure out where is my dollar going to go the farthest and where would I like to go? I mean, I'd be happy in any of those markets, but it's just getting the right lenders with the right terms and the right purchase price on a property so that it's going to make sense long term. Yeah.
And that'll be another session we'll do here in a couple of weeks too, right? Is creative financing, talking about some of the better lenders out there that aren't conventional.
Yeah, 100%. And that's one thing that we're working on for resources, especially for the mastermind and accelerator. I don't know if we'll give that nugget away in the free stuff, but I've been actively talking to a lot of different asset-based lenders. So if you're like me and you don't have a W-2, it's a little different when you go to get a loan. So they want to see all different tax returns and financial statements and all this stuff, which we can give them, but it's a lot smoother if you can work with an asset-based lender that just gives you a loan based on the value of the property and how much income it's going to bring in. So you and I were talking offline. I found one of them that's doing like 3.5% interest, which is really good for that type of product. So I'm setting up a call with them later this week as well. So
awesome. Well, if you guys want the list, we'll have it up in the resources section. Just text 978-242-0001. Just text resources and we'll send you this list here that we created, and you'll have access to all the other resources too that are free. So
awesome. Oh, now I can help, bud. All right, everybody. By the way, in the comments, let us know what markets you're in. I'm curious because we've got over, I think, 2,500 people in the group now, in the free group. So I'm curious what markets you guys operating in, and what types of returns have you seen in those markets, right? We come from an abundance mindset. So we're sharing stuff from our portfolios, from our students' portfolios. There's plenty of properties out there, and the more that we freely share with each other, the more we're all going to grow, right? And be more efficient. So that's it for this week, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, text resources to that number, and we'll see you guys next week.